Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in to Network Live TV, where we're going to talk about how to increase your networking efforts locally, nationally, or internationally, as well as discuss some things that will help you up your game online. Remember, we are here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern most weeks. You know, everybody takes those vacation times or a day off for a business conference or all that kind of stuff, but we are mostly here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Every Wednesday, I'm here with my co-host, author Christy Smallwood. I'm going to introduce her to you in just a second. And today we have a special guest, Ben Brown, and he's going to have all kinds of great tips and tricks for you to share with you. I just want to remind you that I am your host, Sabrina Watson, founder of NetworkLiveVirtually.com, where you can grow your business through creating live virtual relationships all over the globe. We currently have about 1,000 registered users in over a dozen countries. Meetings and membership are totally free. So at this point in time, come join us, get the feel for it now while you got the opportunity, while it's free. I also want to let people know that we are looking for people who are absolutely serious about building their brand and their business while establishing their authority and creating a larger circle of influence to come join us as meeting hosts at Network Live Virtually. So if you feel like that's something that you are interested in doing, please reach out to me so that I can tell you all the benefits that we offer our hosts. So I just want to say good morning to everybody. Good morning, you guys. Hi, Christy. Hi, Ben.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, hello. Let me introduce you, Ben, to Christy.
Okay.
This is Christy Smallwood. She is the author of The No Rules Way and Entree Networking, and she currently owns Eagle Eye Executives. Her background includes 20 plus years in media, marketing, and advertising, plus organizational management with focus on developing and launching new projects. She is a trained executive coach specializing in leadership communication. Her experience covers a variety of industries, ad agencies, radios, franchises, small businesses, corporate, and ministry, as well as nonprofits. She uses her gifts of bringing order to chaos, chaos to order. Bringing chaos to order. I like that one better, actually. Bringing order to chaos, getting things done, and motivating people to realize their potential, reach their goals, and bring their dreams to life. She specializes in training on self-awareness and self-definition that includes leadership, emotional intelligence, marketing, organization, personal development, and time management. She trains and develops entrepreneurs to continuous growth through strategies that fit their passions and beliefs. She's worked with over 100 local professionals in her area through direct coaching and training and reached thousands through speaking at workshops and various organizations and events across the country. She is my co-host every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Thank you for joining me, Christy. What's happening?
We need to up my number on that. That's over 200 now. I've added extra since I've been on my own, and with all the training that I've been doing, yeah, we're over 200. We can up that number a little bit.
So
awesome.
What's going on in your world this morning? Tell us before I introduce Ben.
I'm just trying to get my shit together around here this morning. Last week, so I'm based in Louisville, Kentucky, and so last week was Derby week. So actually 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right, for 2 weeks prior to Derby Day, okay, prior to that 2-minute race, we have 2 weeks full of events and parties and galas and you name it, we got it going on around here. So it's hard to get actual work done when we've got so many other activities taking place. And of course, you got to go shopping for the hats and all kinds of outfits and this and that and the other. So that took up a big chunk of time. Now that Derby's done, it's taken me a few days to kind of get back to a normal routine of getting down to business. And because I have a home-based office, I still have clothes to clean and dishes to do and, the basic things in life. I'm trying to catch up with that. That's why I didn't look so great on Charlene's show this morning. I was like trying to catch up on that kind of stuff prior to Blab this morning. So, I still have a real world to live in, not just all the fancy stuff that's on the resume. But, yeah.
Well, that's a toughie being on video these days. And I want to ask Ben about that because first I want to tell you a little bit about him. This is Mr. Ben Brown. He is an author, a keynote speaker, and the CEO of 360 Sales Consulting. He's got 18 years background in sales and sales management. Ooh, you two are going to get along well. My passion is helping business people with their sales. Many companies focus on marketing, but leave the most important part of the business out, which is sales. And we can't survive without sales. So he's got a 10-step sales process that can help anyone understand the simple law of properly selling a customer something that they can help and benefit from. His company, 360 Sales Consulting, specializes in sales training and coaching for small businesses and entrepreneurs who need help with their sales process. And they have a proven method of sales process and can also analyze your current method to see where improvements need to be added. So good morning, Ben. Welcome.
Good morning, and also author.
Woo! You didn't tell me that part. Mastering
Nice.
the art of closing the sale.
That's right.
Ooh,
That's
so
right. On Amazon, and I'm doing my 3-day KDP promotion starting tomorrow, so you can get the free 3-day for the next 3 days. Get the download for it, and for everyone that downloads it and gives a review, I want to send them a signed copy of it. So I think it's awesome.
I'm in.
So I'll put if you want the links to it, it's on Amazon.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
it's a great read. It's only 116 pages. People said it was very simple. I said, well, it doesn't. It's a process, and it's basically building. So I wanted to, don't want to have these thick books on sales because I've been doing it so long and figuring a way that people can easily digest it because it's a language, it's a process. So that's what I love doing, is teaching it. Love it.
So tell us, first of all, go ahead and share those links. So we have them now for anybody who's in the room. We're going to share them again later. If you have those
All
links
right.
available, feel free just to go ahead and share them. And then just give us the total lowdown on everything you do. We want to know everything that you do. This show that we do 3 times a week is merely been about introducing people to the world, promoting the introduction. And my goal is to introduce 1,000 people to each other this year. And since I count the numbers, I'll make it. Just saying. And and of course, promote virtual networking. We at Network Live Virtually have virtual networking groups, 5 that run a week currently with live video and audio. So you get to meet everybody in a room just like this. Our rooms hold up to 50 people.
Nice.
So we don't usually have that many, but our show is just about introducing people to people and giving them the opportunity to get comfortable, to help you get that know, like, and trust factor so that people feel comfortable about reaching out. I find that online networking is really tough right now because even though we're communicating in text, online, whether it be Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, text doesn't translate. Would you agree with that?
No, it doesn't.
I agree with you. It does not translate.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
So how do we get around that?
I think it's just basically getting to know people because in sales, like I said, you only deal with people that you know and like. Just give you an example. One of my friends I haven't talked to in, I don't know, probably 4 years, found me on Facebook this morning. Hey, how everything? She's doing great. There's this new program out there. Would you like to get involved? And I'm like, yeah, and it'd be beneficial. And she told me about it. And then the next guy she referred me to, we became friends. He started talking to me. And then he started asking me for, different type of information. And I'm like, whoa, slow down. You've been referred, but, there is a process that it takes. And everybody knows that going too fast in most cases, it's not a good thing. So you want to process the information. I'll get back from him later on today, talk to him personally. I would like to speak with him and then be able to go through the process that way. So that's just a small example of, how you want to approach people and talk with them. Because the main key component here is, transparency. Being able to help people is the key because that's what I teach in my book.
And we want to hear all about that. You're going to share some tips and tricks with our audience today, you and Christy, of course.
All right, awesome. So it's just about getting referrals and having a reputation because right now, a couple of years ago, you didn't have to have one. Now you're everywhere. Everybody can check you out. So you need to be clairvoyant, basically transparent on everything, and everything has to be on the same level. So I think that's key. Right, Christy?
Absolutely. And first of all, I appreciate that you're here because we are a complement to each other. Mm-hmm. I used to have a business partner, which I left that partnership last November, and we did a lot of sales training. And mm-hmm. we did it from that value system of if you don't have your sales in place, your marketing can't support the sales. Your marketing is not your sales funnel. Mm-hmm. Your sales funnel is your sales funnel. How does marketing support your sales plan?
Right.
So let's start with the sales plan, and then how does marketing support all that? Marketing builds your reputation, but it's the sale that is the actual close
Yep.
of things. So it's like we get you to start here, and then so now what I do though is whenever I work with businesses, I work on their branding, their marketing presence, that reputation, how to put that core message together. Then let's develop a sales plan. I kind of back them up in a coaching way to then say, here, go, you need sales training, and then we'll work on marketing over here. So I appreciate where you're coming from that, because I truly believe you got to have a sales. The sales is what's going to help meet your goals, not the marketing.
Yes, we're going to drop some serious bombs when it comes to sales today. So you guys are going to love this.
Yay!
Now,
I'm excited.
I will throw in one of the things that I just did yesterday. We had I'm involved in a lot of different groups, one of which is Executive Women International. And I am the president of our local chapter here in Kentuckiana. And of course, we have a national organization. And on the national level, things have been a little chaotic, and it's a trickle down, I don't want to say it's a leadership issue, but there's just miscommunications going on. And so when that happens, it affects my people here. They're like, we have to have this serious discussion. So we were at a crossroads. Do we stay connected with this organization, or do we leave? We decided to stay. We're committed. Here's what we're going to do. So the input then, the feedback I got from my people, I needed to be able to give to the National Corporate Board. And I wanted them to understand the seriousness of the situation. And I know the only way for that to come across, you need to see my face when I tell you this.
Right.
So I actually did a video, and then did an unlisted YouTube video, so I could send them the link and say, you guys need to watch this. This is what the outcome is. So I didn't tell them the outcome in the text. They have to go watch the video so that they can actually see my face and get the emotion behind it as to here's what's going on, what's about. Plus, I know for me, that is my strength. I come across very well personality-wise. I can get across what I want okay in text, but it's not as powerful or as efficient as you getting my full personality on video.
Right.
So I'm trying to utilize that now.
That's not me. That is not me. That is not me.
I think that was me.
That's not me.
I'll fix it, and I won't be able to find my phone again later.
I would not have that one on my phone. My kids might like that, but no.
Well, I haven't grown up.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh, that was
Go
fun.
ahead, Christy. Sorry.
Yeah, I have the guys going, what was that? That was the wife.
It was just woo text message.
Awesome. Go, Christy.
So the video aspect can be very powerful and beneficial if you know how to use it well. And if you're not afraid of it, I mean, that's the other thing, is don't be nervous about it. It's not that big of a deal. I've always been able to pretend I'm talking to something because I've been in radio too. When you're in radio, you don't get feedback from people. You have to give out and pretend you're getting feedback. So I've been practiced at this a little bit, which helps tremendously. But at the same time, I know now we talked about that reputation too. I think society-wise, we're kind of going back to what it was in the 50s. And people are getting it, that it's not about necessarily what you know, it's how well you relate with people.
Right.
Do I like you? Do I want to listen to you? So these are the things now that are more important than our knowledge base. Our knowledge base just feeds into our likability factor.
Correct. Awesome. So if anybody have questions, they can put in live chat too about sales. We can do that as well. So I'm the all authority when it comes to it. And like Chrissy says, first thing I tell people when I sit down with businesses, like hotel restoration type deal, when I sit down with them and over their sales plan, what they've been doing, is that I have to explain to them that sales and marketing is two different things.
Yes.
Marketing gets you exposure, but once they penetrate the skin of the company, which I say the penetration of the skin, whether that comes by email, phone call, walking through the door, when that actually happens, or a dial out or a cold call, that is when sales take over. And so a lot of people, my target market I deal with is entrepreneurs. And the reason I came into this because I evaluated a couple of years ago what people were doing. And I was in a B&I group for 2 years. And I was talking to air conditioning guys, and I just started speaking with them on the one-to-ones. Like, what are you doing for your sales? They looked at me like I was a ghost. I'm like, how are you not focused on, doing some type of sales training? And one of the gentlemen that I took out, I have a limo company too, took out because I started a limo company. I still have it. He's taking his wife out for our anniversary, and as we're driving along, I normally don't talk unless the clients talk. So he's telling me about his business, and I start breaking down a couple sales tips. And then he came back to me like a week later. So my wife hated that we were talking so much about sales on our anniversary, but man, that stuff, or SHIT, works. I said, yes, it works. It's a process, and I've been doing it for years, and that's what got me started in figuring out what the next thing I want to do the next 15 years. And I wanted to teach, and I didn't want to do a certification. So teach what I know is sales. So I love teaching it. I love seeing the response. I love seeing the revenue that comes behind it. And people get excited about it. So I'm just trying to slowly change the terminology of what people think about sales and what they should actually be doing. And I tell people it is a skill. It's something that needs to be practiced. And every 6 months, you need to revamp it. You need to go back in and relearn it because you'll fall off. Even professional salespeople fall off. Everybody needs a coach. Football players have been playing for 18 years since they were 8 years old. They still have what on the sideline? A coach. So they practice all week for 60 minutes of playing So I emphasize that with people. That's what it takes to be successful. I say only 3% of people can do sales, and only half of those can actually do it well. Because it is a language, it is a skill that needs to be learned and taught and practiced, and that's what I actually do and help people.
Let's talk about that language, Ben and Christy, because I know that you both speak that language.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's face it, without sales, we have no businesses.
Right.
So what is the language of sales? How do you speak sales?
Well, the first thing I do when I interview anybody, I talk to any business person, within the product. It's either a product or service, right? And so the first thing I tell people with the entrepreneurs, you either gotta, and I do the 3 L situation. I say either you like it, love it, or leave it. You can use that one. So what that means is that if you don't like or love your product, then you need to leave it, because that's going to get you through the hard times that you're going to go through as an entrepreneur. So they have to tell me they're passionate about the product itself first to make sure they understand, because you need to take that passion that you have and put that into your scripting, into everything that you do. So it emphasizes that your customer understand how enthusiastic you are about your product and what you can actually do to help them. I mean, you should be screaming on the top of a mountain how good your product is, and that's what it's about. And then breaking that down into a sales system that you can understand and actually communicate to your client.
Comments on that, Christy, before I ask you a question, because I've already got a couple items that I want to ask right here.
Nope, still spot on.
Well, you guys can't have a spot-on conversation.
Well, Christy does the marketing aspect of it, where you get either the internet, billboards. She formulates your verbiage or your what I can say mantra, and that's one of the things I do with people is what is your mantra? What do you hope to prove? What are you going to do that emphasize your marketing that carries over into your sales? If your marketing is done well, then your sales is going to be a whole lot easier, as you know. So it's 2 different plans that you need to put together for your business. 2 different separate plans. I tell people before you market it, sell it. Sell it. You need to resonate. Who knows if it's going to work? And there's a lot of people out there that do a lot of marketing, Twitter, and all of this other stuff, but can't sell with a damn. I went on live interviews with people, and just give an example, we go out and I used to use this, they're selling expensive drapes to people, and they pick up the phone and people call them out, they do an interview. You want to ride with me? I'll say, I'll ride and evaluate. So after about a 45-minute presentation, we leave, and they say, what do you think? And I said, it's crap. It's crap. I'm one of those guys that's not going to play with you. I'll tell you straight to your face, you suck. And I said, you suck. I said, you didn't even ask for the money. You didn't ask for the sale. And they say, well, that's how I work it. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Mm-hmm. And he says, well, I leave it with them so they can, evaluate. I said, now, You don't even know who the decision maker is. There was a man he was talking to. He's married, right? Yeah. Don't you think the wife is in the decision making process? So, that's one part in the book that I cover, qualification. If you're not talking to the decision maker, don't pitch, because all you're doing is giving people, and I'll emphasize this, when you pitch to somebody who's not the decision maker, you just give them your wallet, there's the number, and say, hey, sell it to them and come back. Are they going to sell it like you do? No. Are they going to ask the questions? No. So when you sell it to them, I ask them as well, when they come back to you, you do that call back that you always do. So what did you think? And it said, oh, we decided we're just not going to move on that right now. What that does, it closes the door. You can't come back on it. What are you going to say? Can I try again? No, it's closed. You're done. You gave your money to somebody who wasn't the decision maker. They went to them and pitched it. The other person didn't get all the information and say, I don't think so. And so what happens is when you call back, you talk back to them and say, and they go and they give you the whole story. Well, we just decided we're not going to go that route. Right? There's no objection killing for that. Nothing. You're dead. So
you've given all of the power to somebody else.
Right. Yep. And I tell people, so who's the decision maker? And when somebody says they're the decision maker, there's an extra step. So who besides yourself is the decision maker? You need to ask those important questions, because what I do in my emphasis in training is sell in time. What a good coach does is that you'll be dumb enough and enthusiastic enough to actually get a sale here and a sale here. So what a sales coach actually does is shorten the distance between the two so you can make more money. So, an idiot can make a sale eventually if you put enough effort into it. If I make them 1,000 dials, I probably would sell somebody on something, anything, right? But I'm trying to shorten it so I can emphasize my business. That way I can put in a plan, put the money back into, and give more money to Christy for marketing, and then keep going on and market, and it just becomes a snowball effect. So process the people that's interested in your product, right? And if you don't do that, you're doing them a disservice, you're wasting their time, and more importantly, you're wasting yours.
Ben, I want to back up just a moment to something that you said. You were talking about coaches, and I know Christy would agree with this as well. And that is, when you get a coach, one of the things that I want to kind of state, but ask the question of both of you, since you both do coaching, so to speak. When getting a coach is not having a coach for a day. You need to have that coach continuously. And what are some of the reasons that you need to keep that coach? Besides, and the first one I want to point out is one of the things that we're all up against on a daily basis is the negativity about whatever it is we do. I don't care what it is we do. Somebody has something negative to say about it. So that's one reason. What other reasons would you want to keep your coach on board all the time?
Christy, you want to go first?
Accountability, fresh ideas, and ass kicking.
There you go. Accountability.
Because I have one. I actually have two for that specific reason. We do monthly check-ins, and we sit down because I have one that says, I want to get this, this, and this done. Fantastic. So that's her check-in. Did you get it done? And so that's the accountability. She knows she's going to have to check in with me, and these are the things that she needs to get done. Then it's I want to be able to do this. I don't quite know where to go with it. So we start developing. I bring fresh ideas to her table as well. So she's able to pull from my vast experience. She's a payroll business, not a marketing firm. So I study marketing a lot. So we're able to tweak her message, her method, her scheduling activities, her verbiage in her sales approach. What emails is she sending out? What is the activity that we need to tweak to help her reach her goals? That's the idea section. And then if she just flat didn't do something, I'm kicking her butt about it. What happened? Then that becomes more of the coaching session on what got in the way, why did it get in the way, what's blocking, why are you holding back, those kinds of things. Because even with our marketing aspect of life, something may be stopping us from wanting to be successful. And I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes people are afraid of being successful. And if you just do this thing, it could open some floodgates. And internally, we may not be ready for the floodgates. So that's something else that I deal with as a coach to help people actually take on more success levels. while we're doing all of this other technical stuff. So those are my immediate thoughts on it.
Hold that thought, Ben. I want to let you answer that question. But first of all, I do want to share with our audience and, of course, the people that are watching our replays that on Wednesday, second and fourth Wednesdays of the month, Christy Smallwood does host virtual networking on networklivevirtually.com. Here is the link. You can join us at 2 p.m. Today, she is actually holding an entrepreneur roundtable today. So tell us a little bit about that roundtable, Christy, so before I get to let Ben answer that question.
First of all, Ben, I want you to consider being on my Entre Networking show in 2 weeks. All right. So it's every second and fourth Wednesday is my Entre Networking show. Today is a roundtable day. So basically, it's facilitated conversation with a bunch of entrepreneurs. I don't have a specific speaker, but just like we're doing here, you know, we're sharing our insights and wisdom for tips. But as entrepreneurs, sometimes we come in and we're like, does anybody have an idea for this?
I can solve that for you if you want, and I have the time today. I'm a person like that.
Love to have you join us. So
see, that's the kind of thing that's going to happen. That I'm hoping will happen. This is the first time we've done it. That I'm hoping everybody can just kind of join in, and I'll have some questions to keep us going. But that's what I'm hoping happens.
What time is that? What
2
time is
p.m.
it?
Eastern.
2 p.m. Eastern.
I checked my schedule. I have a call, but I can push that back. You know, if it works and you need some help with that. I love this platform. I love networking, so it's one of the things I do.
And it's a Zoom room session. So it's
you guys send me the links and the technology. I hope my computer can handle it.
Well, we're going to have to bring you on board in the tech world, Ben. And I just want to remind our audience as well.
Everybody knows. I think one of the things that I'm going to put together is how to effectively use all this, because I start my day normally at 4 o'clock, and I just went from Twitter to LinkedIn to Instagram to Facebook. Now I'm on Blab, and then I think it's like 6 platforms. It's like, my goodness gracious, it's like I'm just juggling and my phone's going off. So I think one of the things is just focus, which I also emphasize. I just read the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller. Great book, great read. I emphasize everybody to get that, because that's going to help you focus, because it's a lot of attention getting going on out here. But don't worry, you're going to get all the benefits from this Blab, because we're going to drop some more bombs for you guys.
Good, drop some more bombs. I just want to remind everybody the link is in the chat. You are all invited. So if you are watching, please feel free to join us. We have virtual networking on Zoom with Christy Smallwood as our host at 2 p.m. today. And with Zoom, everybody is live on video and audio. We do contact information exchange. So please feel free to come. There you go. You're doing that well, Ben. So Christy answered the coaching question. I want to ask Ben a question. I'm going to just kind of skip over that part for you, Ben. But okay. You mentioned something that I wanted to ask you about, and you were talking about scripts. Mm-hmm. Sales scripts. So should people be writing sales scripts and practicing them? Let's talk about that for a minute. Talk about scripts.
Hell yeah.
I'm with you, but you need to tell the world that.
Hell yeah. The main point of it is how are you gonna, when you grow your business, how are you gonna teach the people below you are on board if you don't have policy? We have policies and procedures in the company, right? So, for example, and I use stories. I called this company one time, air conditioning company. So you know, how many air conditioning companies are there out there? Tons, right? So let me call this air conditioning company, come out, take a look, and I kind of knew the people, so I called. The phone rang. Finally got somebody on the phone, and they were like, hello. And I was like, is this such and such an air conditioning company? They were like, yeah. I'm like, is somebody can help me? Tell me some of your services? Yeah, hold on. So somebody comes on. Yeah, hello, this is Charlene. And I'm like, Charlene, just calling me your company. She was like, yeah, what can what do you want? I'm like, what do I want? I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, so, you know, everybody in your company is a salesperson. It's just like the Marines. I used to be in the Marines. Everybody's a basic rifle. Everybody can shoot. So in your company, everybody needs to know how to shoot. From your receptionist, everybody's a salesperson. Everybody should know the mantra. Everybody should be able to help you or know exactly what to get through. It's so much competition, so much noise out there. If your company is not inviting or have a script, your receptionist should have an exact script and what they need to say each time. You know what needs to be tweaked and what needs to be changed. Your salespeople definitely need to have a script. How are you going to change it if you don't know what's working?
Yes. And you need to practice that script.
Practice is the key component, which I emphasize, especially when Christy was talking about coaching. And she knows, and I say this all the time. You can go to a seminar, which people do, and you get a book like this, sales seminar, full. You'll sit there the whole weekend. You'll get your DVDs or CDs. You'll drop a couple of grand normally, and you'll come back home on Monday. And you have to digest and just like, oh, I just did all this. So Wednesday, you start going back through that stuff, and then you're like, what am I supposed to do with that? The difference between that and the coach is spread out. My course that I'm just building is 6 weeks long with follow-ups after that. So it's a step-by-step process. It takes a lot to digest. It's a language. It's a skill I teach people. So you need to be able to practice it. So drilling is part of the keys that I go through. I always tell people, and I always say like this, let me test Christy. You ready? You ready, Christy? You ready? Here we go. We'll do a session. You ready? You wait. Give me your 30-second. Pitch me.
Oh, I don't have one of those on purpose.
Oh, okay. So it emphasizes differently. So
Yeah.
the thing about it is that I always go to people and I say, pitch me. And they're like, and I'm like, you tell me about your product. And it should roll off your tongue. It should have something to say. And that's what everybody in the company needs to do as well. But it needs to be scripted. What you guys do and how you help people is the key component. So there's a lot of small things in that I teach that comes with sales and surround sales. My biggest thing is everybody on the same page. We're going to make some money. That's the key component. There's a lot of people out there that in their competition that kick in their butt all the time because they can sell. The product might be inferior, but
we've got a guest joining us. We've got Bronson and Bronson Digital. So tell us who you are, what you do, Bronson.
Who I am, what I do. My name's Bronson. I am a digital advertising consultant. I specialize in Google AdWords.
Really?
Yes, I'm Google AdWords certified. I actually got my certification here.
Ta-da!
And Google Analytics certified. So I specialize in lead generation for small businesses, helping business owners generate leads from Google, inbound phone calls, and leads, submitted leads. So I live in Los Angeles. My office here is in Los Angeles. I'm in downtown Los Angeles in the financial district. And yeah, that's who I am. That's what I do.
Well, Bronson, if you would like our audience to be able to reach out and connect with you, please put some stuff in the chat box there.
Yeah.
Actually, I would like to reach out and connect with you myself. So, because I don't know anybody who's Google AdWords certified. So, yeah, I want to reach out with you and connect.
My website's bronsondigital.com. You can follow me on Twitter, at Bronson Digital. And that's the two best places. But yeah.
So I have a question, Bronson, that even you'll be able to chime in and
Sure.
answer or add a little thought to, because I'm going to ask everybody this, and this goes back to something that Ben's talked about earlier about getting onto all these social media spots that he's been on already this morning. Is social media marketing, you guys? Is it really marketing?
Okay. My opinion on that is yes, because it is, putting yourself out there in front of your potential customers and clients. But I think social media as social, now there's social media advertising, which I also do. Like I could putting ads on Facebook and pulling them off and getting leads. But social media marketing, yes. Because it's more, I think these days it's more a blend of branding and getting your message out there, a little bit of PR and a little bit of customer service as well, and networking. So I just think it's more yeah, it's more a blend of those things. It's not really selling, so it is marketing, and it's not advertising. I mean, you can advertise. So my answer in short is yes.
All right, Christy, what do you think? Is social media marketing?
Yes. Because in my world, marketing is the sum of all communication you are having with the outside world.
Right.
Which means anytime I'm out and about, socially, where I could shake your hand, or online, where we're having this conversation or we're networking or whatever, I am still in marketing mode. And people don't understand that the perception value goes back into our reputation management. We have a personal brand that should be tied with our company brand if we have a company that we're selling a product or service for. We should have an association with that. So if people are more intentional about how they are marketing themselves, they would understand that everybody's receiving our message in a marketing way. So this is why the political campaign is called a campaign, because it's all marketing. It has nothing to do with politics right now. This is not the active politics themselves. This is the marketing campaign. So how they're presenting themselves is just as important. This is why I don't like them being on talk shows. I don't like a politician that's going to run the country to be on a late night talk show. I have a massive disconnect with that. But that's the way society's going. But yes, I believe that anything that we put out there goes into our marketing. So whether that be personal branding or we're doing something with the company, everything is a communication out. So how are we communicating with other people? What are we presenting?
What about you, Ben? What do you say? Is social media marketing?
Well, it's I think, being honest, if you look at Twitter, when I started down that avenue about a year ago, you have to brand yourself on all these different platforms. Twitter, you're not allowed to promote. So it's like you're just getting exposure, which I call it. It's not really, it's marketing and exposure because you can't convert. I'm on the tail end of the guys that we're speaking with now because they create attention that's marketing. I'm more of the physical contact. Once you get in contact with a potential client or having a conversation with it, it's sales. So everything that you're doing out there is like branding, because you're looking at the model of branding, marketing, exposure. All these things do play a part in your reputation to bring people towards you and being more reputable. If they see you on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all these things, and you're doing it all well, or you have a team of people, it makes you bigger and makes your conversion bigger because people trust you more. So the marketing exposure, I think it all wrapped in. I'm not a specialist on that. That's why I tell people I just do sales. I try to stay away from that marketing field. It's just like, you know, marketing is great, but you can convert it. As long as you can convert it, yeah, but that's the main thing for me. I'm ready to get in that conversation where I start converting them into customers. And my main component is to get the
That's right, Mastering the
referrals.
Art of Closing a Sale by Ben Brown, who's going to drop some bombshells for us in just a minute. He told us he was. I put the link in there again, you guys. You are all invited to Christy Smallwood's Entree Networking Roundtable at 2 p.m. We hold that on Zoom. We are live on video and audio, and yes, you get to connect with others. So Ben, you got some bombshells for us. Give them to us. Give these people some tips and tricks that will help them with sales.
Number one is getting prepared, which is the initial part. A lot of people don't know that you mentally, physically, and professionally have to be prepared for the sale. You actually have to make sure that I put in the book, what do you do in the morning to prepare yourself? Because it's an ongoing battle. Are you willing to take the no's? A lot of people can't. So you need to know, if you start taking a lot of no's, people get depressed. We're humans. Are you physically able to take the no's and understand why you're getting the no's? Because it's a grunge. Now, another key component is qualification, which is key. Qualification is how many times, and I'll ask Chrissy, you talk with a potential client, they talk with somebody, they realize they spent all this time or did a presentation and realized they wasn't talking to the right person.
See that
Right?
happens a lot, and I make
Okay.
for my clients it happens, and I'm like, no, we need to find out the decision maker. We're wasting time, burning daylight here.
Right. It's a building block method. I build a house, and on that top of the house is a little place for the customer to escape. If you do everything right, the way I teach is front. I don't have a thick book. I want to put some reading. Thick book like this, full of closes, right? What I say when they say, I don't have to, you don't need that if you sell properly, because everything is, the way I teach is front. Everything is done up front. If don't have a person that's qualified that I can help and know emotionally why they're involved or need my product or running away from the problem or pain, I don't pitch. I go to the next one. People do what's called pitching and wishing. They pitch to enough people like a preacher, and
oh my God, did I just hear that? That is hysterical.
Pitch and wish. Pitch and wish. My presentation is going to be so great that everybody's going to want to have it. And I'm like, no. And I ask people, one of the key components, I ask people, how long should your presentation they give you? And if they give me a time or they give me a certain period, I said, wrong. It's based upon each customer needs. You pitch based upon, you don't tell, okay, for example, you're going to go buy a car, right? You got a family, you're going to go get a minivan. The wife comes out. I'm not going to sit down and do a 30-minute presentation with the tires and the reason why these tires are better than other tires and what reason why these floor mats are that. She's not buying the car for that. She's buying it for the safety reasons, how many kids it's going to hold, how easy it is to get in. And so her husband is going to buy it for different reasons as well. So you need to know his reasons, cater your presentations around that, because I'll ask you, Sabrina, what is the purpose of a presentation?
Well, there could be various purposes for a presentation, to be honest. I'm not in a position to sell, so I like to just teach people.
Teaching is great. So let me ask Christy, what's the purpose of a presentation? What's your definition?
It's to support the sales conversation.
No, let me ask.
Yeah, I'm going to say the purpose of a presentation is to give your prospect all the information that they need to make a buying decision.
You're kind of right. The purpose of a presentation is to build yes patterns and promote buying signals. So it's a momentum thing. You already know they need it, they can use it, and they afford it. Do they want to buy it? So a presentation doesn't have to be as long as you want, because all you're doing is getting yeses and yeses and yeses as you go through and you talk about the product or service. You get the yes, and if you get a wow, that's a buying signal. You start getting those, it's time to close. You don't have to keep going. A lot of people, Christy, how many people talk past the close or talk too much in the presentation?
Well, I've seen a lot of people talk past the close and kill the sale.
Right. We haven't even gotten there yet. So what you need to do in the presentation is, you ever get to the point where that person starts doing this
done.
As you're talking about your product?
You're done.
They do like this, body language, or on the phone you hear the breathing or anything like that. So that lets you know that you're going on, and that's what they're pitching and wishing. If I just tell them everything they need to know, then when they get toward the end, I don't even need to ask for the close. I'll just give them the quote and walk out. Duh. So there's a lot of little small nuggets like that. Also, the first rule of closing is the first one talk loses. So I always emphasize, so does it sound like a winner? Does it sound like the way you want to go? Yes. What card do you want to put it on? The rule of closes is the first one talk loses. You have to practice that. I'll tell you one story. Don't get long-winded, but in 20 years and over 20 years of being in sales, I was talking to a gentleman from Texas. I'm selling him about a $1,500 product. I'm in a room of about 145 sales guys on the phone, and we had ability to, I was in a call center, so you could listen to it. And so this is black phone. We had no computers. All we had was fax machines, and that was it. Everything was and we're doing $500,000 a week in sales. So I'm talking to the gentleman, and the rule is first one talk loses. So I did a 30-minute presentation throughout, got to the end, asked him, what card do you want to put it on? I got quiet, and right then and there, I normally would hit the timer. So the record, I think I broke the record at the company. It was 10 minutes and 37 seconds of silence.
How do you do that?
It's a skill. I know the rule. You don't break the rule. First one talk loses. I kept checking with the manager. Is he still online? Yes, he's still online. He came back and after 10 minutes and 30 something seconds, he said, well, and then 30 more seconds after that, he said, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, any time before that 10 minutes, if I would have came back, how many people? Well, let me also tell you this. All you're doing is backtracking back into the presentation. Or let me say this. Or do you have any other questions? All you're doing is take that house that you build and tearing it down. You're starting from scratch. You built it all the way up. You need to have the process. So you trust in the end when you ask for the credit card or the payment, you've done everything that you need to do up to them with confidence and just shut up and see what they got to say. Most people are going to give you the first objection, and the first objection you ignore it because sometimes people just don't want to lay down that easy, right? That's why you don't need a book like this of closings. So the person says, I got to think about it. And you go back and you emphasize two more. And you already said you like this, right? You already said you like that, right? So I don't see any reason you can't go move ahead with this. What card do you want to put it on? You'll be amazed. They go like Visa. And you be like, God dang it. And I get people call me back, God dang it, Brown, they did it. I'm like, duh, just listen to the rules. And the reason you need to practice and you need to have a sales pitch, because the most important things in the sales, and I think Christy agreed to this, is being able to listen to the customer. Yeah. Listen.
These are all my closes.
Are those your thank you notes?
These are from Grant Cardone's Grant closing.
Yeah.
Closer survival.
If you do everything good up front, you don't need all those closes.
Well, I tell you what.
So
they do help.
Mm-hmm. They do help.
You do need to close. You know, people are
confidence.
uncomfortable with closing sometimes, even though they know that it's a good decision for them. So sometimes you do need to close somebody. Okay.
Yes. Yes. But if you have those as tools, it helps tremendously too.
So Bronson, are those like script cards?
Yeah.
That
So
you
basically,
practice?
like if somebody says, you know, I need to think about it, then you would give them their, you know, I understand you need to think about it, and then you would just give them, you know, the reasons why they should make a decision now. But you know, you always agree, and then you help them make the decision that makes sense for them. So yeah, it's from Grant Cardone's Closer Survival Guide. So it's really from a book, and then I just wrote them down just to practice with you.
How often do you practice?
Go ahead.
How often do you practice?
I try to get 15 minutes in a day if I'm making phone calls, just right before I make my phone calls.
That's good. Practice, right? The key component here is to be able to know where you're at in your sale and listen. And the only way you could do that if you're confident and you practice. So as you're talking and I'm communicating with you, I'm paying attention to everything that you're doing, your body language, your voice inflection, what are you saying? Because that's the key to know exactly where you're going. The only way you could do that is be confident in your sales. And the way to do that is practice.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things is a couple of key points you're talking about, Ben, is like paying attention. I think it's really hard. One of the things that I've noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that most people want to talk about themselves. So instead of even letting you finish what it is they're saying to you, you know, about their objection and hearing what they're saying, you've already run over the top of their conversation with something you have to say.
I have to teach my clients it's not about you. It has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing. People don't care if you're in business for 40 years, 40 days. Doesn't matter how many cars you got, how many different locations you have. People don't care about that. It's about what you're going to do for them. That comes in your marketing. That comes in sales. So people say, well, I used to do this, and we do this, and we do this. And I'm like, I just slap them in the face. I said, it has nothing to do with you. You're arrogant. Don't do that. People won't respond to that. It's what you're going to do for them. And you always know that saying, it's not what you do for them, it's how you make them feel, right? So if I actually solve your problem and give you a key component, the last step that I covered is getting testimonial referrals. And you get that immediately after sale because that's the highest they're ever going to feel. Because I tell people, if You have family members, right? Yeah. Do you give them money? Some people know. I would give some of my family members money, right? So when you do a sale, somebody is giving you their money. So if you trust them, or if they trust you with their money, that means they'll trust you with their friends, right? So then when they give you the
Good
money,
point.
when you're giving me my money, you're giving me your money, then now I want your friends, because you're the average of people you hang around with. If this is my target market, my customer, he knows somebody exactly like him that I probably can sell. So why should I go back out and cold call when I could just be on the phone with somebody who just gave me their testimonial and also a referral? That way your business snowball effects. It grows. People are so excited when they just get a sale. That's it. They get so excited. Just got the sale. They want to go out to Chili's and celebrate. They haven't finished the sale. The end of the sale is getting the testimonial and a referral.
So Ben, on that note, I want to kind of direct this to Christy, because this is something Christy and I talk about a lot. We've been together a while now. And one of the things that Christy does is teach people how to network also, and how to teach people how to listen to others, and how to read that body language, and how to respond to others. So, and we're hearing that preached all over the place on social media and everywhere else, all networking events. When you go, it's not about you. Let it be about somebody else. Learn about somebody else. And I don't care how many times it's preached or to who it's preached. Do you guys still find that you go to networking events and the pigeons are still flying around the room? The same pigeons. Now, let me tell you that that's a personal term of mine. And I'll bet you can guess what a pigeon is, right? They fly by, they drop their shit, and they keep going. So those people are still alive and well and out there. So how come they aren't getting this message, Ben?
It's there's certain courses where you learn about people, room full of referrals with BNI and things of that nature. I network a lot. I'm going to one tonight. I try to do at least 2 a week in person where people see me. I'm in a group in Tampa called Tampa Bay Business Organization. We meet once a month. It's still the old school thing. People think that they can just drop their cards off or postcards and go out and tweet and Twitter, and they think that they can actually get the business without communication. So, Christy's going to cover more about that, but that's just not happening. Meanwhile, your competition is out there. One of the things I cover is I give out, let's see if I have one here. Here it is. For the guys who don't know, on my website, we got this as PDF. Simple call sheet. Anybody, I say, get on the phone and call. People are going to give you feedback on your product. Call. People are scared to pick the phone up and call people and ask them, do they want the product? They're waiting for people to call them or actually call in and say, hey, I want it. They want a cash register where they just sit at the counter. It's not going to work like that. You have to be motivated to go out and sell. So that's basically what I do. Christy, cover the rest.
Yeah, I still get the pigeons in the room, and sometimes,
They're flourishing. They're breeding like mice.
I think there's one element that I think that has a lot to do with it. They're so, what's a good word for it? Zealous and excited, or they're excited and zealous because they've got such a demand on hitting certain numbers. If they're trained only to hit numbers, when they enter a room, they only see numbers. And so then their methodology is all based on numbers. So it's a quantitative approach, not qualitative. And networking needs to be all about qualitative so that you're building those quality relationships to be able to get, even if one person doesn't, because I've got more referrals from people that I've not worked with directly, but they know but they love me so much that their friends need to work with me. And so I've gotten referrals that way because I network very well. It's not about me. It's what value do I bring to the room for those people that I'm networking with. It takes a practice on the mindset for that because, yes, I'm anxious to make some sales. I need to build a business. I need to live and eat and breathe. I got to pay rent somehow. Networking takes a different mindset. to get that to work. It's a long-term strategy, not an immediate sale. The pigeons are so numbers driven that they think it's going to make an immediate sale. If it does not, then networking does not work for them. And that's true. They need to be more sitting on the phone, making cold calls. They're going to get more results from that than they are in a room of networkers who are looking for qualitative results, not quantitative.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got about 3 more minutes. If anybody would like to hop in a seat and introduce yourself, spending time with author Christy Smallwood and also author Ben Brown, owner of 360, is it consulting? Am I saying that right?
360 Sales Consulting.
Sales Consulting. So, and Ben is, well, hopefully Ben will be joining us at 2 o'clock so that we can get some more tips and tricks from him and others can. I just want to remind everybody that at 2 p.m. we will be holding a Zoom networking session. Christy Smallwood is our host. That's sponsored by networklivevirtually.com. And we will be able to see everybody in the room. We are live with audio and video. We do get to exchange contact information. So please bring your best smile. You are all invited. If for some reason that you don't want to be on video, once you enter the room, you can hover down toward the bottom and you'll see the video thing pop up and you can just turn it off so you don't have to be on video. That seems to be a problem, Ben, for people with networking. What do you think? Are you finding, Christy, are you finding people like doing this kind of thing on Blab? They don't want to get on video. That's scary for them. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook video just started. A lot of people just started to jump on there, but you know, these are people, one of the things you do in an assessment with the client is figuring out their personality. It's not for everyone. Some people just don't want to do it, and I totally understand that, you know, but if you're in business, you're already exposed out there. You know, I don't want to do that because I don't want people to know my information. One of the people in my mastermind groups, she sells internationally. She's been doing it for years. She only has about 8 people on Facebook, and I'm like, that's a platform that you're missing out on. She's like, I just don't want people to have my information. I'm like, they already have your information. You're in business.
They already have it.
What do you? They know where you live. They know your business. I mean, they can look you up. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, like, and she's like slowly coming out of that. She's old school, which is she's been doing everything by sales, by verbal, and all that kind of stuff. So you have to start using these as tools. I mean, you're already there. So I made the decision in January. I'm going to fully embed myself in Facebook, but I'm going to make money on it. You know, my friends and family on there. I have Marine Corps buddies on there. I have 73 first cousins. So that's how I keep up with them.
What?
Yeah. 73 first cousins.
That's great.
Yeah. My mom's part of 15. My dad's part of like 8. So I have 48 aunts and uncles. And so out of that, I have 73 first cousins. And that's from my adopted family. I just found my birth mother 2 years ago. And so she's part of 10. So my network is
I don't even know if I would recognize one of them 40 if there'd be somebody.
well,
Hey, did I know you? Do we meet?
well, we have to have
recently?
name tags at the family reunion. We have to have name tags. So my second book is coming out next year. I'm doing it on how I found my birth mother. So that's exciting. So it's one thing.
Oh, cool. Congratulations.
Just getting out there. And so it's not for everyone. But, you know, that's a benefit for, like I said, if they're not doing it, somebody in their sector or business is going to do it and take your business from them. So that's why I'm here doing what I do, because I know if somebody else is not in the seat, somebody else would, right? So that's one of the deals. You got to know where your market is and be comfortable out there and do presentations and stuff like that, especially in a small business situation, which is my customer base. You're the face of the company.
Mr. Michael says there are too many stale dinosaurs currently out here in the sales and marketing directive. The higher up the ladder of peeps I meet in the sales and marketing field of networkers are seriously consumed by their own formula of analytics and interactions in which I myself realize they have not an ounce of being humble in their definitions, directions, and that's really revealing and sad in my opinion. Wow.
Right. It's all about them. What you're saying.
I have to agree with you, Michael, for sure. I absolutely have to agree with you. You guys, our time is up today. Thanks, Ben, so much
Christy,
for joining us.
send me the link.
Again.
I don't know where I got to go for 2 o'clock.
I tweeted you to get your email address. That way I can just send it directly to you in a way that, or just tell me what's the best way to communicate with you.
Just Ben at 360salesconsulting.com.
All right, there we go.
There you go. Ben at 360salesconsulting.com. Bronson, we have virtual networking Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, virtual networking on Blab, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern. We have 5 different groups that run on networklivevirtually.com that run each week. There's one on Mondays, one on Tuesdays, 2 on Wednesdays, 1 on Fridays, more coming. Don't forget to go get Ben Brown's book, Mastering the Art of Closing the Sale. He's going to send you a signed copy. Everybody, again, you are invited to join us at 2 p.m. There is the link. Please register at that link to get the links to Zoom. We are live with audio and video. You are all invited. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Christy, I will see you at 2 o'clock. Ben Brown, maybe I will see you at 2 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.
I got the link.
I'm going to stop this. I'm going to stop this recording, you guys. Take care.
Awesome.